Are these most recent flights impacting or potentially complicating the legal issues already at hand?
I think they probably are. I mean, the Judge Boasberg is really drilling down on did Trump's DOJ violate his court order that he had said earlier, look, these planes, if they're in the air, they got to turn around, that we're headed to El Salvador. And the Trump legal team so far has not really answered those questions. So it's become a side issue because the big issue is, can the president do this or not under the Alien Enemies Act? But the issue of whether the court order was violated by the DOJ and by Trump's administration has become a side issue, but it's become an important issue to this judge. But the appeal today is to set aside his decision that they can't deport these gang members without a hearing.
Yeah, and the timeline in all this is going to be so key, as you know. Today, the D.C. Circuit Court, as of appeals, as you mentioned, set to hear the Trump administration's appeal of Judge Boasberg's ruling halting these deportation flights earlier this month. You know, the judge on Friday accused the Trump administration of not being terribly cooperative. The judge saying he will get to the bottom of whether they violated my order. So President Trump, meanwhile, writing that the judge is, quote, doing everything in his power to usurp the power of the presidency. You know, some analyzing this, John, have said the DOJ lawyers on the president's side, they know the confines of the law. They know how to artfully walk this tightrope. What are you predicting as Boasberg continues his quest for answers and a timeline here?
Well, I think two things. I think eventually this case is headed to the United States Supreme Court, and the question will be, does executive power permit President Trump under the Alien Enemies Act to deport these Venezuelan gang members without a hearing? I think the Trump legal team thinks they're on sound legal ground there and that there's broad presidential power. I think this issue, this dust-up on whether a court order was violated or not, Judge Boasberg is going to get to the bottom of that. And so the question of that is going to be the exact timing of that. The one get-out-of-jail-free card for Trump's DOJ lawyers may be able to say, look, under the State Secrets Act, we can't tell you about all the information about when the planes left, when we communicated with them. That's national security. So, Judge Boasberg, we're not going to answer your questions. And if they're successful in raising that, that'll put this dust-up over whether a court order was violated or not to the side. But if they can't do that, it's going to remain front and center.
Yeah. And, you know, to your point, there was a bit of news made over the weekend. The legality, again, of the president utilizing the Alien Enemies Act is the point of contention here. Mike Walls, though, the White House National Security Advisor, connected TDA to the Venezuelan government, saying that this gang is, in fact, acting as a proxy of the Maduro regime. This would certainly harden the argument that the president's making, that his actions are not only legal, but necessary and appropriate here.
Absolutely. What President Trump's legal team says, look, it's up to the president of the United States to decide if we're being invaded or there's an incursion into our country by a foreign enemy, by a foreign gang. It's not up for a judge to decide that. This is executive power. This is foreign policy. He's the commander in chief. He has the total authority here. He shouldn't be second guessed by a judge. And so they're going to tie this into the Venezuelan government, that this gang has infiltrated them. And they're going to say, look, that can't be second guessed. And that's going to be one of their primary arguments today to the D.C. Court of Appeals.
Yeah. All right, John Fishwick, we always appreciate your take. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.